First contact and deception. The night sky above New Shanghai glittered with stars and the lights of orbital habitats as Admiral Chen Wei stood on the observation deck of Earth United Command. At 54, the lines on her face told stories of Earth's turbulent past, the resource wars, the climate crisis, and finally, the hard-won unification. Tonight, humanity would welcome visitors from beyond their solar system for the first time. "Admiral, they've entered lunar orbit," reported Commander Jackson, her XO. "The Viridian delegation will shuttle down within the hour." Chen nodded, her expression carefully neutral despite the storm of emotions beneath. "History will remember this day," she said quietly. "But will it remember it fondly, I wonder?" Massive view screens throughout Earth's major cities broadcast the arrival of the sleek Viridian ship as it descended through the atmosphere with impossible grace. Its hull gleamed with an iridescent blue-green shimmer that seemed to bend light around it. No heat signature, no sonic boom. Technology centuries beyond Earth's current capabilities. The landing pad in the International Unity Plaza had been prepared for weeks. World leaders gathered alongside scientists, military personnel, and carefully selected civilian representatives. Billions watched remotely as the ship settled onto the platform without a sound. "They're certainly making an entrance," muttered Dr. Maya Hassan, Earth's leading quantum physicist, standing beside Chen. At 42, Maya had revolutionized Earth's understanding of quantum entanglement, earning her place at this historic meeting. The ship's seamless hull parted, revealing a ramp that extended to touch the platform. 6 tall, slender figures emerged, moving with liquid grace. Their skin seemed to shift colors subtly as they moved, their large, faceted eyes taking in the human delegation. The lead Viridian wore an ornate collar that pulsed with soft light. "I am Ambassador Krell of the Viridian Alliance," the alien announced, its voice melodious, yet somehow emanating from the air around them, rather than from its barely moving mouth. "We greet Earth as potential friends and allies." United Earth President Okafor stepped forward. "On behalf of humanity, we welcome you to Earth. This is a momentous day for our people." The ceremonial exchange continued, a carefully choreographed dance of diplomacy. The Viridians presented gifts, devices they called cultural artifacts that demonstrated stunning technological capabilities. Earth offered art, music, and examples of human innovation. Later that night, New Shanghai gleamed with celebration. The arrival of the Viridians promised an end to humanity's isolation in the cosmos and access to advanced technology that could solve Earth's remaining problems. Politicians and civilians alike rejoiced at the possibilities. But in a secure underground facility beneath the Unity Command complex, Admiral Chen Wei was not celebrating. She turned one of the Viridian artifacts over in her hands, studying it under specialized scanners. "You see it too?" Dr. Hassan asked, entering the lab with dark circles under her eyes. Chen nodded. "Transmission nodes embedded in the crystalline structure. They're not just gifts. They're monitoring devices." Maya tapped her tablet, bringing up analysis results. "And that's not all. I've been working on decoding their transmissions back to their fleet. My quantum algorithms are picking up patterns that don't match their diplomatic communications." "Show me," Chen said. The data scrolled across the screen. Fragmentary at first, but enough to chill them both. Phrases like resource extraction potential, minimal resistance capability, and suitable for colonization appeared repeatedly. "They're not here to welcome us to the galactic community," Maya said, her voice tight. "We're being assessed for conquest." Over the next 3 weeks, as diplomatic discussions continued on the surface, Chen and Maya worked with a small, trusted team to intercept and decode more Viridian communications. What they discovered confirmed their worst fears. Earth wasn't being invited into an alliance. It was being prepared for resource extraction and possible colonization. The Viridian strategy was clear and had apparently been used dozens of times before with other developing worlds. They would provide just enough technology to make extraction easier while creating dependency. They would establish protection agreements that would effectively disarm Earth while giving Viridians control of key resources. Chen took the evidence directly to President Okafor, meeting in a secure garden where they could be certain of privacy. "Are you absolutely certain?" Okafor asked, her face grim as she reviewed the decoded messages. "Dr. Hassan has verified it multiple times," Chen confirmed. "The Viridians see us as a resource to be exploited, not as equals." Okafor stood silently, watching the sunset paint the sky. When she turned back, her eyes had hardened with resolve. "What do you need, Admiral?" "Authorization for Project Defiance. Full clearance, unlimited resources, absolute secrecy." The theoretical battleship, based on Dr. Hassan's quantum principles. Okafor frowned. Even with their technology insights, it would take years. "We don't have years," Chen acknowledged. "But we have something they don't expect. Human ingenuity when our survival is at stake." Okafor nodded once. "Project Defiance is authorized, effective immediately. Build your ship, Admiral. Build humanity's answer to these visitors." Hidden within the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, humanity's greatest secret took shape. The shipyards were carved into a massive asteroid designated XR-137, hollowed out and shielded with experimental technology to prevent detection. 5,000 of Earth's brightest engineers, scientists, and military personnel lived inside this floating fortress, none returning to Earth since the project began 9 months ago. Admiral Chen floated through the zero-gravity construction bay, magnetic boots occasionally engaging to guide her path. Above her stretched the massive frame of what would become humanity's first true battleship. Workers in specialized suits crawled across its vast structure, installing systems that hadn't existed a year before. "She's beautiful, isn't she?" asked Chief Engineer Ramos, joining the Admiral. His face showed exhaustion, dark circles under his eyes testifying to endless work shifts. "She will be," Chen agreed, her eyes tracing the hull's distinctive shape. Unlike the sleek, symmetrical Viridian vessels, the Defiance had been designed with deliberate asymmetry, a concept the aliens had dismissed as inefficient according to their own physics models. "Outer hull installation begins next week," Ramos continued. "The adaptive metamaterials Dr. Hassan developed should absorb most scanning attempts." They pushed toward a nearby observation platform where they could view the central weapons bay. Scientists and engineers clustered around a massive circular device that pulsed with occasional blue-white light. Dr. Lakshmi, the chief weapons engineer, noticed their approach and pushed herself over, excitement visible even through her fatigue. "Admiral, you're just in time. We're running the first full-power test of the quantum displacement weapon in 30 minutes. Chen nodded. "How confident are you?" "Very. We've taken concepts from studying their technology, but developed them in directions they never explored." Lakshmi's eyes gleamed with pride. "The Viridians never pursued quantum displacement technology. Their physics evolved along different principles. They'll never see it coming." "Explain it simply," Chen requested. "It creates a quantum link between 2 points in space. When we activate the weapon, it forms an instant connection between the target point and a contained energy source here in the ship. In simple terms, we can place an explosion anywhere within range without a projectile ever traveling through space." "No way to intercept it," Chen said, understanding. "Exactly. No way to detect it coming, no way to defend." As they continued their inspection tour, Maya approached, tablet in hand, her expression serious. "We've cracked their neural networks," she announced without preamble. "The Viridian ships are all centrally controlled through a biological-mechanical interface. Their crews connect directly to their vessels." "A strength and a weakness," Chen observed. "Precisely. Their ships are vulnerable to specific electromagnetic frequencies. It's like finding their brains off switch. We can disable their vessels without destroying them. And our adaptive shields." Maya's eyes sparkled. "Based on principles they dismissed as inefficient physics centuries ago. Their arrogance is our advantage." Chen looked out at the Defiance again. Still incomplete, yet already the most advanced vessel humans had ever built. How soon can she fly? She asked Engineer Ramos. 3 more weeks minimum. The dried system is particularly. An alarm blared, interrupting him. Red lights flashed throughout the massive chamber. Workers paused, looking around in confusion. What's happening? Chen demanded. A communications officer rushed toward them, face pale. Admiral, we've intercepted Viridian communications. They know something's happening in the asteroid belt. They've dispatched a battle fleet to inspect Earth's orbital facilities. How? Chen's voice was cold. This facility is completely shielded. Intelligence believes we have a spy in our ranks, the officer reported. Someone's been feeding them information. The implications were clear. If the Viridians discovered the Defiance before it was ready, all would be lost. Chen made her decision instantly. Sound general quarters. All personnel to emergency stations. Sir, Engineer Ramos looked shocked. The ship isn't ready. The shield system isn't fully integrated. The hyperdrive hasn't been tested beyond simulations. We launch now, ordered Chen, her voice steady despite the chaos erupting around them. How long until the Viridian fleet reaches Earth orbit? 27 hours, the communications officer reported. Chen's expression hardened. Then we have 27 hours to make this ship battle-ready. Engineers and technicians scrambled across the construction bay. The orderly progress of months transformed into controlled chaos. Chen established a command center on a nearby platform, coordinating the frantic efforts. Prioritize engines, weapons, and shields, she ordered. Everything else is secondary. Dr. Lakshmi oversaw the rapid installation of the quantum displacement weapons system, cutting safety protocols to speed the process. Maya worked with her team to finalize the electromagnetic pulse technology designed to disrupt Viridian neural connections. 20 hours later, the Defiance began to truly take shape. The outer hull was partially attached, giving the ship a skeletal appearance in some sections. Inside, crews worked in shifts, sleeping only when they collapsed from exhaustion. Hyperdrive is functional, Engineer Ramos reported, voiced hoarse from shouting orders for nearly a day straight. Untested, but the simulations show it should work. Should is all we have time for, Chen replied. At hour 22, the spy was caught, a junior technician who had been promised protection for his family on Earth. Security took him away, but the damage was done. The Viridian fleet had accelerated, now only 5 hours from Earth. We need to launch, Chen announced to her senior staff. Now, Admiral, Engineer Ramos protested. Sections 3 through 7 still have exposed framework. Life support is only at 60% capacity. If we lose pressure, if we don't launch, Earth loses everything. Chen cut him off. How are the essential systems? Engines at 87%, weapons at 92%. Shields are the problem. Only at 65% integration. Chen made her final decision. Begin launch sequence. All non-essential personnel will remain at the base. Sir, Ramos began. That's an order. The skeleton crew boarded within the hour. 800 of Earth's best prepared to face an alien fleet with an untested ship. Chen stood on the bridge, watching as status reports came in from all sections. Hyperdrive ready. Weapon systems online. Partial shields active. Engineer Ramos approached her one last time. It's not ready, Admiral. Neither were we when the Viridians arrived, Chen replied. But here we stand. The massive doors of the asteroid base opened slowly, revealing the star-filled blackness of space. The Defiance, humanity's desperate gamble, moved forward on maneuvering thrusters. Set course for Earth, Chen ordered. Prepare to engage hyperdrive on my mark. As the stars beckoned before them, Chen thought of what waited ahead. An alien fleet, a defenseless Earth, and humanity's future hanging in the balance. Mark. The Defiance disappeared in a flash of light, racing to meet its destiny. Humanity's Defiance, The Defiance emerged from hyperspace on the dark side of Luna, sensors immediately scanning for the Viridian fleet. The bridge crew worked with quiet efficiency, the tension palpable as status reports flowed in. 12 Viridian warships detected in high Earth orbit, reported Lieutenant Dias from Tactical. Configuration matches known assault patterns from their communications. On the main view screen, the alien vessels gleamed in the sunlight. Elegant, symmetrical ships that resembled elongated teardrops, their hulls shimmering with that distinctive blue-green iridescence. They had positioned themselves in a standard orbital bombardment formation above Earth's major population centers. Life signs on Earth? Chen asked, her voice steady despite the knot in her stomach. Normal patterns, Communications Officer Rivera confirmed. They haven't begun their attack. Wait, incoming transmission from the Viridian flagship to Earth governments. Put it through, Chen ordered. Ambassador Krell's voice filled the bridge, the melodic tones now holding an unmistakable edge of threat. Demands are simple. Your world will surrender its autonomy and accept Viridian guidance. Resistance will result in demonstration strikes against uninhabited areas, followed by population centers if necessary. You have 1 hour to comply. Chen exchanged glances with Maya, who had insisted on being part of the bridge crew despite the danger. They're so confident they're broadcasting in the clear, Maya observed. Arrogance, Chen replied. They'd done this dozens of times to other worlds and never failed. She turned to the helm. Position us between the fleet and Earth. Tactical stealth mode. The Defiance moved silently through space, its partially completed hull actually working to its advantage as the adaptive metamaterials absorbed scanning attempts. The asymmetrical design further confused Viridian sensors calibrated to detect symmetrical ship configurations. We're in position, Helm Officer Nguyen reported. 5 minutes to optimal weapons range. All hands to battle stations, Chen ordered. Shield status. Holding at 68%, Engineer Ramos reported from engineering. We've managed to stabilize the integration. Chen nodded. Dr. Hassan, are you ready with the electromagnetic pulse system? Maya's fingers danced across her console, calibrated and targeted at their lead vessels. On your command. And Dr. Lakshmi. Quantum displacement weapon charged and ready, came the reply from the weapons bay. Target solutions calculated for their forward vessels. Chen took a deep breath. They would only get one chance at surprise. This is Admiral Chen to all hands. What we do in the next few minutes will determine the fate of our world. The Viridians came expecting to find a primitive species ready for harvesting. Let's show them what humanity is truly capable of. She paused, then added, Battle Plan Alpha. Execute. The Defiance released an invisible pulse of precisely calibrated electromagnetic energy. To observers, nothing seemed to happen. No visible beams, no projectiles. But on the targeted Viridian ships, chaos erupted as their neural interfaces overloaded. The connection between mind and ship, the technology the Viridians had relied on for centuries, became a weapon against them. Officers tore at their connection nodes, desperate to break the link that was causing them unbearable pain. 3 ships went dark, drifting lifelessly in space. On the Viridian flagship, Supreme Commander Krull staggered as feedback surged through the fleet's linked neural network. What is happening? He demanded, his normally melodious voice distorted with pain and confusion. His second-in-command struggled to respond through the neural interference. Unknown weapon. 3 vessels disabled. Cannot locate attacker. Impossible, Krell hissed. There is no species in this sector with such capability. The Defiance decloaked, revealing itself between the Viridian fleet and Earth. From the perspective of the alien vessels, the human ship looked incomplete, asymmetrical, almost primitive compared to their sleek designs. Viridian vessels, Admiral Chen's voice transmitted on all frequencies. This is Admiral Chen Wei of the Earth Defense Force vessel Defiance. Your hostile intentions toward our planet have been discovered and will not be tolerated. Withdraw immediately. On his flagship, Commander Krull's faceted eyes widened in disbelief, then narrowed with fury. The primitives built a warship. Absurd. Destroy that vessel. 9 remaining Viridian warships fired simultaneously, energy beams converging on the Defiance. On the human vessel, alarms blared as the attack hit. Shields holding at 82%. Engineer Ramos reported, surprise evident in his voice. The adaptive system is working better than expected. The shields around the Defiance rippled like water, absorbing and redistributing the energy of the alien weapons. Where conventional shields would have failed under such an assault, these adapted in real time, learning from each hit to become stronger. Return fire, Chen ordered calmly. Show them what humans can do. The Defiance moved with shocking agility for its size, evading the next volley of Viridian fire while positioning for its own attack. The quantum displacement weapons activated, creating points of devastating energy directly inside 2 more Viridian vessels, bypassing their shields completely. Systems overloaded, and sections of the alien ships went dark. They weren't destroyed, but they were crippled. On Earth, people watched through whatever feeds they could access as their lone defender engaged the alien fleet. Children who had been crying minutes before now cheered. Adults who had been preparing for the end now dared to hope. On his flagship, Commander Krell stared in disbelief. 5 of his 12 ships were already disabled, and the human vessel showed no significant damage. Impossible, he whispered. They were primitives. How could they create such weapons? The Defiance accelerated, performing a maneuver that the Viridian computers classified as physically impossible. It seemed to phase through one attack, while countering with another electromagnetic pulse that disabled a 6th ship. Krell realized with growing horror that he was facing an enemy unlike any the Viridians had encountered in their 1,000 years of expansion. These humans hadn't just copied Viridian technology. They had reimagined it, improved it, and taken it in directions the Viridians had never considered. And for the first time in his long career, Commander Krell felt something he had never experienced before, the cold, creeping sensation of fear. They're adapting to our attack pattern, reported Lieutenant Diaz on the Defiance. The remaining ships are adjusting their shield frequencies. Chen nodded. Then we adapt faster. Execute Maneuver Sequence Delta. The Defiance abruptly changed direction, its revolutionary propulsion system allowing it to perform turns that would have torn any conventional ship apart. The crew felt only a slight shift as inertial dampeners compensated for forces that should have crushed them. Targeting solutions ready for ships 7 and 8, Diaz announced. Execute, ordered Chen. The quantum displacement weapons fired again. No visible beams or projectiles left the Defiance. Instead, precisely calculated energy eruptions manifested directly inside the targeted Viridian vessels, bypassing their shields entirely. Systems overloaded and lights flickered and died. On the bridge, Maya monitored readings from her science station, brow furrowed in concentration. Admiral, I'm detecting something interesting about their neural networks. Chen glanced over. Go ahead, Doctor. Their neural technology evolved from their hive mind biology, she explained, gesturing to the biological readings on her screen. The Viridians evolved as a semi-collective species. They never developed individual neural interfaces because they didn't need to. Their brains naturally linked together. And humans? Chen asked, though she already suspected the answer. Our brains work differently. We're intensely individual, so when we designed our neural interfaces, we approached the problem from a completely different angle. Maya's eyes lit up with the excitement of scientific discovery, even in the midst of battle. That's why they can't counter our attacks. We're using familiar technology in ways they never imagined. Human innovation from human thinking. Chen nodded. The ship shuddered as a glancing hit struck their port side. Shields at 74%. Engineer Ramos called out. They've adjusted their weapons to a rotating frequency. Compensate, Chen ordered calmly. Around them, the battle continued. Earth forces had managed to launch a few conventional fighters from hidden bases on the moon. Though technologically inferior to the alien ships, they provided useful distraction, allowing the Defiance to focus its attacks. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. Warning lights flashed red as Maya's console erupted with data. "Admiral," she shouted, "the Viridian flagship has activated some kind of energy weapon. The power readings are off the charts." On the view screen, they could see it. The massive alien vessel's forward section had opened like a blooming flower, revealing a pulsing core of blinding blue-white energy. "Analysis," Chen demanded. "It's a planetary bombardment weapon," Maya reported, her voice tight. "Based on these readings, it could vaporize a city the size of New Shanghai in seconds." Chen's decision was immediate. "Helm, position us between that weapon and Earth. All power to forward shields." The bridge crew exchanged quick glances. They knew what this meant. Even with their advanced shield technology, taking a direct hit from a weapon of that magnitude was a desperate gamble. "Sir," Engineer Ramos began, "the shields aren't fully tested at that capacity." "We have no choice," Chen cut him off. "Execute the order." The Defiance surged forward, positioning itself directly in the weapon's path. On the Viridian flagship, Commander Krell felt a cold satisfaction as he directed the planet killer's aim. The humans positioned their vessel to die for their world. He communicated to his remaining officers through their neural link. Admirable, but futile. When their ship is destroyed, their planet will follow. The weapon fired. A massive beam of concentrated energy lanced out toward the Defiance. "Brace for impact," Chen shouted. The beam struck the forward shields. The entire ship shuddered violently. On the bridge, consoles sparked, and crew members were thrown from their stations. The lights flickered, then stabilized. "Shield status," Chen called out once she'd regained her balance. Engineer Ramos stared at his readings in disbelief. "Shields holding at 42%, sir." He paused. "And something else is happening." On the view screen, they could see it. Their shield wasn't just absorbing the energy. It was channeling it, redirecting it in a brilliant display of light and power. The energy beam curved around the Defiance and shot back toward the Viridian fleet. 2 more alien ships were caught in the redirected blast. Their shields overloaded instantly, and systems failed as they joined the other disabled vessels. In the stunned silence that followed, Maya was the first to speak. The adaptive shield matrix. It learned from the energy pattern and reflected it. It wasn't supposed to be able to do that. Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile. Sometimes our technology surprises even us. The Viridian flagship, having exhausted its primary weapon, hung vulnerable in space. 8 of its escort vessels were disabled, the remaining 3 damaged and retreating. "Open a channel to the Viridian flagship," Chen ordered. Commander Krell's face appeared on the view screen, his color-shifting skin now pale with shock. "This is Admiral Chen Wei. Your fleet is defeated, Commander. 8 of your vessels are disabled but salvageable. We could have destroyed them, and you. But that is not our way." Krell's faceted eyes narrowed. "What do you want, human?" "The truth to be known throughout your alliance. Earth is not a primitive world ripe for harvesting. We are not your resource. We are your equals, perhaps more." Chen's voice was calm but firm. "You will leave our solar system and report that Earth is a protected, sovereign world. Any future contact will be conducted with honesty and respect, or not at all." The Viridian commander was silent for a long moment. "You have defeated a Viridian battle fleet with a single vessel. This has never happened before." "Then learn from it," Chen replied. "As we learned from you." Krell inclined his head slightly. A gesture of acknowledgement, if not quite respect. "The Viridian Alliance will withdraw from Earth space, but this is not the end, Admiral Chen Wei. Our peoples will meet again." "I'm counting on it, Commander," Chen answered. "Next time, perhaps as genuine allies." The transmission ended. The Viridian ships began to disengage, retrieving their disabled vessels with tractor beams before limping away from Earth. On the Defiance's bridge, the tension finally broke. Cheers erupted as the crew realized what they had accomplished. Earth was safe. Humanity had proven itself against an advanced interstellar power. Chen allowed the celebration for a moment before quieting them with a raised hand. This victory belongs to everyone on this ship and at the asteroid base who worked to make the impossible possible. We've won a battle today, but we've also changed the course of human history. Earth is no longer alone in the cosmos, and we've proven that humanity can stand among the stars as equals. She turned to Maya, who was studying data from the battle with fascination. What have we learned, Dr. Hassan? Maya looked up, her eyes bright with possibilities. Everything, Admiral. The battle data alone will advance our understanding of quantum physics by decades. The adaptive shield behavior was completely unexpected. It suggests possibilities we never considered. Chen nodded. And the Viridians? They underestimated us, Maya said simply. They saw our differences as weaknesses rather than strengths. Our individual minds, our asymmetrical thinking, our willingness to challenge conventional wisdom. These are our advantages. As the Defiance turned toward Earth, Admiral Chen looked out at the blue planet shining against the blackness of space. Today, humanity had faced extinction and emerged not just surviving, but triumphant. Set course for home, she ordered. We have much work to do. 3 months later, a new shipyard facility orbited Earth openly, constructing the second generation of defensive vessels, incorporating lessons learned from the battle. The Defiance, now fully completed, had become a symbol of human ingenuity and determination. Word had spread through the galaxy. Earth was no longer an isolated world of primitives. It was home to a species that had defeated a Viridian battle fleet with a single partially completed vessel, a feat unheard of in galactic history. Other alien civilizations began to make contact, some curious, some cautious, some seeking allies against the Viridian dominance in their sectors. Humanity stepped onto the galactic stage not as conquered subjects, but as respected equals. Admiral Chen stood in her office at Earth United Command, looking out at the stars that no longer seemed quite so distant or threatening. Admiral, Maya entered, tablet in hand. The quantum entanglement communication system is ready. We can now instantaneously communicate with our outposts throughout the solar system. Chen smiled. From defending Earth to reaching for the stars in just 3 months. We've come a long way. And we're just getting started, Maya replied. The Proxima Centauri expedition leaves next week, the first human mission to another star. The door chimed, and a communications officer entered. Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the Viridian Central Council. They're proposing a formal diplomatic meeting, this time with full disclosure of their technology and trade capabilities. Chen and Maya exchanged glances. Tell them we accept, Chen said. But the meeting will be held here, on Earth. As the officer left, Chen turned back to the window. They're coming back as negotiators this time, not conquerors. Progress, Maya nodded. Though I suspect they're more interested in learning how we created our quantum displacement weapons than in genuine friendship. Perhaps, Chen agreed. But that's politics, always a mix of self-interest and possibility. The important thing is that we've earned our place. We're not just survivors now. We're shapers of our own destiny among the stars. Outside the window, the first stars of evening appeared in the darkening sky. Somewhere out there, other civilizations were taking notice of the species that had defied expectations and convention. Humanity had taken its first steps into a much larger universe. Not conquered, not subservient, but standing tall with the unique strength that came from their diversity, adaptability, and courageous innovation. The Defiance had lived up to its name, and humanity's defiance had just begun.